Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, I've never felt so free. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is hitting the high marks in almost every aspect of the game. Starting in Week 6, the Dallas quarterback has been ranked at number 1 in efficiency, per EPA/play, as he's pushed America's team to a 6-3 record. All while feeling free, while Prescott's constant efficiency with CeeDee Lamb has been at the forefront of the Cowboys' offense, Prescott has been growing his connection with other receivers as well, including tight end Jake Ferguson and wide receiver Brandon Cooks, who finally had the game he was waiting for on Sunday against the New York Giants. Prescott's name has recently been brought up in MVP conversation, and Cowboys owner Jerry Jones could not agree more. In 9 games this season, Prescott has completed 67.8% of his passes for a total of 2,415 yards. On top of that, he has recorded 17 touchdowns and totaled only 6 interceptions. Prescott has claimed the number 3 slot in the NFL in terms of quarterback rating, 72.7. Dallas quarterback is quite a fan of head coach Mike McCarthy's seemingly new and improved play calling. I've never been as confident, as free, as connected with other guys in the offense, with play calling and this whole system and what we're trying to get after as I am now, Prescott said. Prescott refuses to take credit for the Cowboys' success and applauds the entire offensive coaching team. That's credit to those guys, credit to Coach McCarthy, offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, quarterbacks coach Scott Tolzien, and the rest of the offensive staff, Prescott said. It's actually a credit to all involved, including Dak, who hopes continue his offensive freedom in Week 11 with a visit to the 1-8 Carolina Panthers. The McCarthy Chronicles, Cowboys offense approaching juggernaut status. It is officially time for all of the doubters to start putting some respect on Mike McCarthy's name. After some initial bumps along the way, McCarthy came out of the bye week with plenty of adjustments and tweaks to his Texas Coast offense, and the Cowboys have been roaring ever since. Over the last 3 weeks, this offense has averaged 478 yards a game and 6.7 yards per play. They've scored touchdowns on 41.2% of all their drives. They have a red zone touchdown rate of 68.75%, 7th best in the league over that span. And they rank second in both EPA/play and success rate. It's easy to dismiss this week's offensive onslaught, saying it was only against the Giants. While New York doesn't boast the best defense, they still were nothing to sneeze at. This is the same defense that limited the Bills to 14 points and a fairly hot Commanders offense to just 7. To underscore this point, let's look at weekly DVOA, which factors in strength of schedule. Against the Giants this past week, the Cowboys recorded a 41.7% offensive DVOA grade. That's their best weekly DVOA grade of the year. Only 2 teams had a better grade on offense this week, the Lions and 49ers, both of whom faced better defenses in the Chargers and Jaguars, respectively. So while the Cowboys did beat up on a bad opponent, their offense significantly outclassed the Giants' defense relative to expectations. The best part is that McCarthy did it the way he's been doing it since the bye week. Dak Prescott is being given more and more trust each week, for starters. After the Cowboys started the season with a respectable 56.7% early down pass rate, 11th in the NFL, McCarthy has leaned on Prescott more. Since the bye week, Dallas is 5th in the league with a sky-high 62.7% early down pass rate. Prescott has justified this uptick as well. He's topped 300 yards through the air in all 3 games and thrown 11 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. He's also averaged 4.2 yards a carry, with an increased willingness to scramble. For the full year, Prescott is 2nd in EPA/play and 4th in CPOE, both great marks. But in these last 3 weeks, he leads the league in both categories by a wide margin. McCarthy has also continued to lean into the use of pre-snap motion, which has made things easier for Prescott and everyone else on this offense. There are countless examples from these past 3 games where motion played a direct role in getting someone open. This has been the most drastic change to the offense, cosmetically speaking, since the bye, and it's encouraging that it's become a regular thing as opposed to specific plan for just 1 game. The Cowboys have also started to run the ball a little bit better since the bye, something that was a massive Achilles heel beforehand. In these last 3 games, the Cowboys have averaged 4.62 yards per carry, not counting quarterback scrambles. That's a significant improvement, and it's underscored by ranking 7th in EPA/rush since the bye week. This most recent game was the best one for Dallas, by far, as they averaged 4.87 yards per carry. That coincided with a pretty sharp change in the distribution of carries, as Rico Dowdle received 12 carries to Tony Pollard's 15 carries. Dowdle averaged an electric 6.6 yards per carry, while Pollard looked more like himself in the reduced workload. In fact, he's averaging 4.08 yards per carry since the bye, an improvement over his 3.85 average prior to the bye. That wasn't the only problem McCarthy solved on offense this week, though. After plenty of criticism for not getting Brandon Cooks involved enough, McCarthy fixed that right away. Cooks saw the first target of the game and finished as the team leader in yards. That didn't come at the expense of featuring CeeDee Lamb either, as the star receiver had 11 catches for 151 yards on the day. The Cowboys were undeniably helped out by the quality of competition in this one, but McCarthy still called a masterclass of a game. Moreover, the things that worked on Sunday are things that have been working the last 3 weeks. McCarthy seems to have gotten into a groove calling plays, and Prescott is playing the best football of his career as well. If those two can keep this up, the Cowboys will become an offensive juggernaut for the remainder of the year. Cowboys injury update: Leighton Vander Esch out for 2023 season. The Dallas Cowboys announced some shocking and saddening news regarding one of their longtime players. The team confirmed that 6th-year linebacker and former 2018 first-round pick Leighton Vander Esch will not return this season. Vander Esch was injured in the second half of the blowout loss at the San Francisco 49ers when a block in the back by LT Trent Williams sent him flying headfirst into a streaking Micah Parsons. Here is a video of the play. His momentum in that direction plus the push from the back caused Vander Esch to fall forward at full speed and hit the crown of his helmet into Parsons' side. The Boise State University product lay on the turf for several minutes before walking off under his own power, but it would end up being his last snap of the 2023 season. The news that he is out for the season was just the jab, and the right cross came afterwards when the team revealed Vander Esch's career very well could be over. There is still further evaluation to be done, so that diagnosis is premature, but the team felt it was a strong possibility. Obviously, this is devastating news for him, as he is only 27 years old, and very young in his career. Surely retiring after only 6 seasons was not in his plans, and especially being forced to leave due to injury instead of on his own terms. The jury is still out on whether or not Vander Esch's career can be considered a success based on his draft stock. Vander Esch had a stellar rookie season beyond the expectations of the fans, and even though they won't admit it, likely beyond the team's expectations as well. As a rookie, he compiled 140 total tackles and 2 interceptions. That season earned him second-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors, and it appeared the Cowboys had found their linebacker of the future. His sophomore campaign started out strong, as well. Through 9 games before suffering a neck injury, Vander Esch had 72 tackles and 0.5 sacks, on pace to come close to his accomplishments as a rookie. However, he would miss the rest of the 2019 season and undergo spinal fusion surgery. The surgery was successful, and he returned for the final 10 games of 2019 season, but Vander Esch would never again play to the levels he reached prior to that surgery. It appeared he didn't react with the same speed and ferocity as before, and was often hesitant to take on ball carriers. Could fear of further injury have been on his mind? You'll have to ask him that yourself. What makes this news more devastating is the fact that Vander Esch had come close to becoming the player he was before Dan Quinn got to Dallas. Now we may never know what his full potential could have been. No matter which way you slice it, one can argue that the Cowboys got their full return on investment despite Vander Esch not playing to the level of a first-ballot Hall of Fame player. The general mark of success for teams regarding draft picks, especially first-rounders, is whether or not the player receives a second contract from the team. And you fan, what do you think of the Leighton Vander situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.